So you're saying maybe he was protecting.
I feel that he was.
Okay.
Since when we look back at it, I do.
Okay.
You know, it was funny, I was laughing with my sister who died recently. When we go and play, of course, the white friend, she'd call our mother just Gillie. Gillie this, Gillie, and of course we had to say Miss, whatever her mom's name was. And you know, one day we were laughing and said, "You're gonna say Miss Gillie instead of just Gillie," and she did. So we knew the difference, but you know, we had that kind of relationship.
Okay.
Where we felt like, hey, if we gotta say Miss Sharon to your mother, you gotta say Miss Gillie to us. So.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, what was the granny midwife's name who caught the babies?
I'm not familiar with what you mean. That would be my mother to me because she's the one that went.
Your mother was a granny midwife?
My mother was the midwife.
Okay, well, what was her name? That's what goes here. She was a granny midwife.
Yeah, Gillie Jones.
Oh, Gillie Jones. You've already told me, Gillie Jones. Okay. And she was your mother. Well, did Miss Jones catch babies beyond the family?
Oh, definitely. That's what I'm saying. The people that came, they were just people that she knew in the neighborhood. I don't know what distance she went to deliver, but she was the only one around that we are aware of that was delivering babies at that time.
Did she catch black and white babies?
Just mostly black. I'm not aware of any white babies.
Okay. Well, why did she catch babies outside of the medical clinics and the hospitals?
For me, I don't know the logical answer. All I know is growing up, that's how babies were delivered among the black communities.
Within the community?
Within the community,
Okay.
yes. There were doctors in the nearby town, but based on just the number of people that came to get her, it made you feel that that's who they were using.
Okay.
It was funny when she died, my brother was sitting next to me and he told us, he said, we ought to stand at that back door and get money from every person leaving out of here that didn't pay mother. So, you know, because she did it, and I don't know what her fee was, but they would give her goods, groceries, you know, vegetables, those kinds of things in lieu of payment, and she never complained. That was something she never complained about to us as children.
Okay.
I really don't know how many years she did this. I'm the youngest. My mom and dad, they had 18 children that were born. There were 15 of us that lived to be grown. And I'm the youngest, so I don't know how long she had been doing it. All we knew is that little bag that she carried, that was...
Do you have that bag?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I wish
What
I
color
did.
was it?
Brown.
It was brown.
A little brown
Okay.
bag.
So she had I mostly hear people say the little black bag.
Now hers was
She
brown.
had brown. Okay.
And it was one of mystery to us. You know, as kids, what was in that bag,
Right,
that she
what
had
was
to
in
carry it.
But she carried
With
it
her-
every time.
Every time. She
Okay.
didn't leave home without that bag. And one time, my sister and I, we did look in it and, you know, saw this pad with newspaper. And since I'm grown, I know that she probably put that under the mother. There were a pair of scales. There was a book that had like the birth certificates. So that was it. That was her business.
Everything in that bag.
It was in the bag.
Do you recall her having any herbs in the bag?
No.
Scissors, things
Oh,
like
yeah,
that?
scissors. Scissors.
even the birth certificates
Yep, forms to fill out the birth
to be
certificate.
completed?
Mhm.
Okay. Was she refused opportunities, to your knowledge, to catch babies within the medical clinics and hospitals?
I don't know if she ever tried to work in that particular area. Now, I know when I got married and I went home, I was pregnant and went into labor there. But she told me, she said, I can't deliver your baby. You're going to have to go to the doctor. And of course, I went to the hospital there, so I don't know if she had lost her license, didn't renew her license, but she did tell me, she said, I can't deliver your baby. And I didn't want her to deliver my baby.
Okay. That would have been appealing.
Oh, gosh.
Well, did racism interfere with her catching babies? I know you said that she caught the babies within the black community. You are aware of that. Do you know anything about whether or not racism interfered with her catching the babies?
I do not, but I would not think it would. She was well respected and known in the community. And I think the relationship that we had with the white family that lived next door to us probably provided her opportunities if she was needed by the white community, or if she needed to go somewhere. I don't think that there was anything that would have prevented her from going racially so.
Okay. Did she talk about medical doctors and nurses who discriminated against her?
No. She had a very good relationship with the local doctor there in Tupelo, well, it was in Hernando. They knew her and respected her.
Okay. And these were whites?
Mhm.
Okay.
Dr. Wadsworth and his grandson, or great-grandson, is practicing there now, so it's been a generational.
Okay. Is Dr. Wadsworth living now?
He's not, but
But the
I think his
great-grandson?
grandson or great-grandson is practicing
Okay.
still in
Still
Hernando.
Okay. Did the medical doctors prevent mothers from having children at the hospitals?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
There was not a hospital there in Nesbitt, Hernando. You had to go to Memphis
Okay.
for any hospital services at that time.
Did the granny midwife have a certificate?
I'm sure she did, because she would not have done anything that was illegal.
Okay.
And everybody knew she was the one to come and get, so.
Okay.
That's why I feel like she did not try to deliver my child, because she may have had license that had expired and she hadn't renewed them or something like that.
Well, that sounds logical
Yeah,
in terms of expiration.
right.
Was she, you said she was compensated in some kind of way. What were those things? I think you mentioned casually the barter system.
Right.
So what were some of those compensations?
We remember seeing like sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Or corn, based on things from a garden or something like that. She would come on with peas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she believe this was her calling?
I think she did. All of us respected, and because she never complained. She never complained about not getting paid or anything like that. And she was always willing to go, no matter if it was nighttime.
Okay.
She got up and went, and none of us ever heard her complain about going.
Did the household, your household, suffer as a result of her going and spending time with the mothers?
No.
Okay.
There were children grown enough to take care of the young one like me. I was the youngest,
Okay.
and our dad was still there at the house, so that was oversight by a grown person
Okay.
still.
Do you know whether or not your mother was forced into retirement?
I don't know that.
Okay. Well, what were the family relations like
As far as community-wide,
within the family?
Our
Your mother,
family?
right, what were those
Oh,
relations
gosh.
like? In other words, we know that she was a Mississippi granny midwife, but
Mhm.
how did she, beyond catching the babies, work within her own family? How did you feel about her
Oh,
as
gosh.
children? How did the husband feel about it? What were those family relations like? You talk about some of them? Did she cook well? What was she really like?
We, the daughters, we say if we could be half the woman that she was.
Mhm.
All of us talk about her wisdom, talk about how we don't know what she did for all of us, the siblings, to have a love among ourselves like we do.
Mhm.
And that's something that we're still doing now. You know, every Saturday right now, we have a family prayer call.
Okay.
And you know, I'm here in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Colorado, Louisiana, siblings and nieces and nephews, great nieces on this call.
Mhm.
And it's because of the love we think that our parents taught us
Yes.
to always be there for each other, that we're doing this. But she would give people, folks had a shirt off their back, and we would see people come to the house, and whatever they were hungry, it was always something that she, did. And she was our role model, I guess. She really was.
I bet she do well now during this pandemic, especially for the homeless.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Based on
We
what you're
need
saying, sounds
people like her
Right.
during this pandemic.
Great. Do you recall any contributions? Well, these are contributions within the family. What about contributions within the community, contributions outside? You did talk about the homeless and what have you. Were there other contributions such as her being a church member and what she did within the church with others?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
She was a woman who loved the Lord, and she taught us. She took us to church and stayed. She didn't
Okay.
drop us off.
Okay.
She was the church secretary for over 30-something years, and they would have Women's Day program or some other fundraising program, and she would always raise the most amount. And it is so funny because I saw her, she'd go to Hernando on Saturdays and collect donations from people, and they would give her a nickel and she'd take it. And I said, I would never ask people for money. Never. I would never. And of course now I'm in nonprofit, and that's what you do. So we saw her doing whatever she could to fulfill the mission of the church, being there in the services, teaching us love, teaching us about the Lord, all of those things. But she was also a friend to people that needed somebody to talk to. Because like I said, I think she taught me how to be loyal, to have integrity. Because I seeing people come and talk to her, you never heard her repeat it in the house among the children or anything.
Okay. Okay.
So she was our role model, definitely.
Oh, she was well-rounded.
She was well.
She was the ideal person.
I think, to me, she was,
Yes,
definitely.
sounds like it.
Definitely. Yeah.
I see how your face is lighting up when you talk about it, going back in the day thinking
Oh,
about it.
gosh.
That's
She
wonderful.
was special.
Really
She
wonderful.
really was.
Well, do you know approximately how many babies she caught in the family?
I do not, but
Okay.
like I said, it
Okay.
had to have been hundreds, of, depending on how long she had done it,
Mhm.
everything.
Okay.
Uh,
And how many years did she practice?
So I don't know that, because that's what I'm saying, I don't know when she
Okay,
started.
Don't know when she started.
Don't know when she started,
Okay.
but I do know this was in 1971. She died in 72, but she died the year my son, the year after he was born, his birthday, so she died in 72.
Mhm.
But that particular year, everything, she didn't deliver mine in 71, so she stopped sometime prior to 71. Of course, I got married and moved away
Mhm.
from the house also.
Okay, okay. Did she have any assistance during the birthing process?
Not that went with her from our household, it was not. And
Okay.
have not heard anyone ever say that she and so went.
Okay.
It was always just her.
Well, do you have a story about a black doctor in the community?
We did not have one
Did not
when I
have
grew
one,
up.
okay.
No.
Did she spend time, well, obviously, based on what you said here, she spent much time with the children
Yep.
in your family
Yes.
who she caught. She did do that, and you've already talked about some of the things that took place there. How did you as children, though, interact with her?
Huh. It's interesting because I'm the youngest, and her name for me, of course, was Baby. That's what she called me all my life that I can remember. So she always wanted me to be there at home, and I felt like she wouldn't let me do anything or go anywhere, and I just felt like she was just too hard on me. And then my sister, who was 2.5 years older than I was, they had a great relationship, and they would be laughing and talking as we got older. And to me, she had privileges that I should have had also. So each one of us had different relationships with her. I think one of my oldest sister right now, she's 90, and we were talking on call and things that we did, and she said, I really didn't want any children because every time mother would leave to go deliver a baby, I had to babysit all the rest of you all. So, but one of my fondest memories is growing up, because all the other siblings had gone and gotten married or whatever, but they always came back on Sunday. And my parents would go shopping on Saturday to fix dinner on Sunday for them to come. And they'd all come down with their children. She'd have enough cooked to eat. I don't know how many of us. I never thought about totaling the numbers or whatever. And she did that for years. And finally, they said, okay, let's start bringing something to help out. So it was that joy that she had of family coming back home, even though she still had children home.
That was on Sundays?
On Sundays. And they would get together every Thanksgiving to help Dad kill hogs and pull corn. That was the family tradition. So the sons would come and go in the field, and just great memories.
So you can remember many family dinners.
Oh, yeah.
And conversations.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can you provide names and contact information of the children who interacted with her? Like your siblings, their names?
Oh, of course I know all my
Okay,
siblings'
I want you to write their
names.
names down on this paper.
You got enough space? All right.
I have enough space.
Well, I'll just start with the oldest and go
Okay.
down. Marzie, Marsiere. Is The oldest daughter, she was named after our dad, Marcy.
Wait, M-A-R-S-I-E.
S-I-E-R-E.
Okay.
Lee.
R-E,
Two
two
E's.
E's, okay.
William.
William. Is this another child?
I think there were 15 of us.
Marjorie Williams?
No.
Oh, William,
Mhm.
okay.
Francis. F-R-A-N-C-E-S.
Mm-hmm.
Lena. L-E-N-A.
Okay.
Henry.
Henry,
Tecumseth.
spell that.
T-E-C-U-M-S-E-T-H.
Never heard that before.
Indian.
Okay.
Hugh, H-U-G-H.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard.
Bernard,
Mhm.
okay.
Costello, C-A-S-T-E-L-L-A.
Okay.
Mary.
Mary,
Robbie.
Robbie.
R-B-B-I-E.
okay.
Edwin.
E-D-M-O-N-D?
No, E-D-W-I-N.
Oh, Edwin, okay.
Doreen, we call her Claudette, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Alcola, A-L-C-O-L-A.
Okay.
That should be 14 children. Is that 14?
One,
I'll
two,
tell you
three,
about
four,
somebody.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, 14. 14.
And
Wonderful, you did well.
of course, my siblings.
Well, did she talk about the medical doctors or nurses who may have discriminated against her?
No,
Okay, don't recall any of that.
no. But not only did she have a great relationship with her children, but her grandchildren, they love
They
coming
loved
to
her.
Big Mama's house.
Okay, okay.
It would be funny to listen to my older sisters. I just don't understand. They ate before they left home. They get down here and they act like they starving for a
Yes.
biscuit. You know, that's
For the
what
grands.
it's about.
That's true. I can relate. Mhm. Did the medical doctors prevent the mothers from having children at the hospitals?
I don't know that answer. I'm sorry.
Was the midwife the community doctor or leader?
I won't say she was a doctor, but she was definitely a leader.
Okay.
People respected her.
Mhm.
People would go, they would go to Hernando on Saturdays, and that's where they would have conversations about different things, and everybody knew, our parents, it seemed, when we were growing up and going to school, they all knew Miss Gillie, the white and the black.
Mhm.
So, as far as, any hindrances to deliveries at the hospital or whatever, I'm not sure that she was licensed to deliver in a hospital setting.
Okay. But they were well, she and your father were well respected.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
okay. Well, you've already said that she was active in the community.
Mhm.
What were some of the things that you can recall that she did in the church?
Oh, gosh. She was church secretary. She basically was, like, as I said, the top fundraiser when it comes to raising funds for
Okay.
different programs.
Mhm.
She often served as the mistress of ceremonies for programs that they had.
Mhm.
She loved to sing. She would do devotion.
Okay.
So she didn't have a voice. Dad had a voice. But she loved to sing, and that's another memory, just her singing while she worked at home.
Okay. But Dad had the voice.
He had the voice, yes. That's a gift
Was
that we
it,
got.
what was his voice like?
He was a bass,
He was
purest
bass,
bass.
okay,
Oh,
he
he
was
was the
bass.
purest bass I've
Like the
ever
Silent
heard.
Night Man, he was
Oh,
bass.
yeah, yeah, he could get every note of
I
that
love to
and
hear
sound
that
better
man
than
sing
Otis.
Silent Night, yes, yes. Well, what stands out most in your mind about your mother as a midwife?
I think the fact that she did it without complaining.
Okay.
And I don't know the work that was involved in it, but just, looking at things from TV, knowing that she had to be able to guide the mother as far as breathing and pushing and all of those things.
Mhm,
And, you know, we never heard her complaining about, I'm so tired, or
Never heard
this
her
was so bad, or any of that.
Never heard her complain.
No.
That is wonderful,
No,
wonderful.
never did.
Were there other granny midwives within the family?
No.
Okay. What about within the community?
Don't know of any others.
Okay.
And none of the family members wanted to be one.
No, they had seen so much. Well, that's understandable. Did the males play a role during the birthing process?
I don't know what went on in the home.
Okay.
As far as our dad, he was always there for us. When
Okay.
she was gone,
Okay.
he was there.
Okay.
So that's the part of the male that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He was always home with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did she deliver any babies at home?
I have two sisters that she delivered babies.
Okay.
So I've got two nieces that were delivered by her.
They were delivered in her home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, how were the blacks connected to cotton during that time? Were there any complications, and if so, what were they? What were they? There were some folks who lived, for instance, within a sharecropping situation, and they encountered things where they had to go to, they picked the cotton, then they had to get the cotton to the gin, and they didn't make much money. They were forever in debt within that type of system. What was cotton like during the time that you were coming up?
We were farmers.
Okay.
My dad had worked a public job, they said, before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
But he eventually became a farmer. We owned some acres of land, but he did share crop.
Okay.
And for those bales of cotton or whatever, of course, the conversation that we heard growing up, that he was never really paid the amount. Just, I mean, this is history.
Mm-hmm.
We know that's
Mhm.
history, that
Mhm.
he never got the full amount. As far as being in debt to it, I'm not sure if he ever cleared the tab on it, but
Okay.
it was not, I guess he didn't have any other choice, you know, to
Mhm.
provide for the family, so we kept doing it. Kept
Okay.
doing it, yeah. So we knew that when we went to work so many acres on this particular site,
Mm-hmm.
that it was not our own, that Dad got a portion of it, but we did all the work. And,
Okay.
but that was still another area where he was well respected by the white owners. So
Okay.
we feel like he may not have gotten everything, but I think he fared better than some of the other
Okay.
blacks that sharecropped.
So he was able to support his family?
Yes.
Okay.
But we had the gardens and all of the other things that people did.
Did. Okay, all right. Mhm. Do you have anything that you might want to add to this interview regarding your Mississippi Granny Midwife?
I wish I had known then what I know now about the history of it and how it was, I guess, a profession that it just wasn't, everybody could pop up and do it.
Mhm.
I've got some nieces that are upset because we didn't preserve her back or
Yes.
whatever.
Mhm.
And, you know, they're saying that this is history
Mhm.
because we never knew her, but this was something that she did, and,
Right.
you know, having the information, handwritten notes and all of those things.
Mhm.
And I told him, I said, we grew up with that. It was just stuff to us.
Right,
So
right.
to us,
It's
it had
stuff.
no right.
Mhm.
And so I do regret not keeping that and knowing the significance of it,
Mhm.
because it was something that she did. We were very familiar with it.
Mhm.
So we didn't, I guess, protected like we should have as part of her history.
Okay. Well, we do have an essay contest that we want you to get the children involved in telling the story. You telling the story of these contributions that you have shared here about your mother being a Mississippi granny midwife within the region where you were growing up. We have an essay contest and we want the children to be able to share the story.
Are you talking about my siblings? Or who, what
No,
you- when
we're
you say
talking
te-
about the children within your family now. The
Okay,
children within your family now. Your contest season may occur next year, but it's going to be coming within this 3-year project. And so I just want you to be aware of that, and you have plenty time to think about what I'm talking about in terms of being a great storyteller. So we are so happy that you have come today, Ms. Zell Long, to
you're
share in this interview, Scott Ford House Incorporated and W.K. Kellogg team, for this significance regarding the Mississippi Granny Midwife. And we are hoping that you will be able to, from this interview, share with others all of this significant knowledge that you have brought forth for long-range goals for our project in terms of a museum aspirations for people who will come there to the Jackson area and be part of the 2 Mississippi houses that are there on Cohee Street, all the way back from Virginia Scott Ford, who was a great midwife and the only one within her area. All of the people came. And she had no help at all. She did it all by herself. So we appreciate you again, Ms. Zell Long. I am Dr. Janice K. Neal-Vincent, oral historian, Scott Ford House Incorporated, W.K. Kellogg team. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have stopped.